Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a get ready with me. I have a couple other videos that I want to film, and I thought it would be beneficial to have some makeup on for those videos. So I'm just going to do my base. Eyeshadow will be in another video that I'm going to be filming right after this, and I will probably upload them all together so you can watch them in order. And then I'm also going to be doing a ColourPop ranking video because I happen to have 20 ColourPop palettes. I just got a new one in the mail. I did do a comparison video on that. That's already up on my channel. So yeah, I figured, it couldn't be any more perfect than that to do one. So those videos will be coming, but to start, we need to fix this a little bit. So that sounds interesting. That's what we're going to be doing. It'll be a little bit chatty. I can talk to you about I had to throw some things away that I discovered expired. I can complain, catch you up on what's been going on, all of those fun things. So if that sounds interesting, we're going to get into it. Make sure you're subscribed. That way you can come back and we can do this again and again. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And we're going to jump in. So I'm going to start off with skincare. I'm going to go in, I'm probably going to do both the Glow Recipe and the one from Keys. The one from Keys is a little bit shimmery, so if you don't like, it does make you look glowy, but it does have like micro shimmer in it. So if that's not your thing, then I would steer clear of that one. But it sits nicely under makeup, and I like to look no, I don't like to use the word disco ball per se, but like a fairy, like a Tinkerbell. So I don't mind to be super sparkly. I like kind of sparkly highlighters. I do have some texture, but I don't have a ton like right in here. So I've never had an issue with like sparkly primers and sparkly like highlighters and stuff, really emphasizing texture. I think I've maybe come across one or two, so that's not really something that I worry about. I like glittery blush and shimmery bronzers and all of that. So micro shimmer in this does not bother me at all. Now, I know when you get older, shimmer can emphasize texture and fine lines and all that, but I do try and use like smoothing primers, things that are going to kind of fill in. So I think maybe that helps a little bit combat some of that. I could do an empties video or like what I had to throw away. It wouldn't really be an empties. A bunch of my like lip, I probably should keep this out for like the primers. A bunch of my lip stuff, I shouldn't say a bunch, a few of my lipsticks expired. It was very sad. And then I discovered my favorite primer, and it just turned because I used this over Christmas and it was fine. So this product like turned within the last 2 weeks, and it's so funny how makeup I've always noticed that with makeup. It's kind of like with when you have toddlers, like when their feet are growing, like they're in one size and then literally overnight, they're not like, they can't wear that shoe size anymore. If you have little kids, it's the same thing with makeup. Like all of a sudden stuff will be bad and rancid. So my favorite primer from Urban Decay, and you can't even read the writing, the Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. It's smoothing, has rose, hip, and argan oil, pore perfecting. It doesn't smell good. And I haven't even hit the halfway mark. This is one that I've repurchased. So this, I had like a mini that I had forever, and I finally bought the full size. And I've had this for a couple of years. The writing has started to wear off. I was going to repurchase this last night, or at least get like a travel size. Urban Decay doesn't sell this anymore. They took it off. So I was like, what do I use? I do have some other smoothing things. So my e.l.f. ones, I have the regular e.l.f. putty primer, and then I have the illuminating one. There is an odor, I would say, to them, like a smell. And it could just be that I've had them for a while. The fragrance that they had put in there is dissipated, and I'm just kind of smelling the base product because it doesn't smell rancid per se. So I'm going to hold on to those. And then I have a couple other like pore filling. I used to have the Benefit one, and I've decluttered them. So that may be something that I like repurchase in the future, but I have enough primers in my drawer, my primer drawer, that I'll be all right. And then I do have like 3 or 4 unopened primers that I've gotten in like subscription boxes that I keep in my overflow container. So I was like panicking, and I was gonna like repurchase like the regular Urban Decay primer, and I was like, let's reel it back in, like don't panic buy, because I have other primers in my primer drawer. I don't have just one ever, so I don't think I need to like panic buy. I'm just going in with moisturizer, the Clinique Moisture Surge. So I didn't buy anything. So like I said, I think my e.l.f. ones are still okay. I think what I'm smelling is, like I said, that the fragrance that was in there, because I believe there was some sort of a smell when I first bought them, and that's just dissipated. So I'm just smelling like the chemicals and stuff that's in the product, because like I said, it doesn't smell rancid. The Urban Decay one smelled off. Like I said, I used it over Christmas and it was fine, and now all of a sudden it's not fine. But it is older, and I've had it so long I didn't even realize that they discontinued that product. I'm trying to think what other moisturizer. I'll probably go in with a little bit of my Bobbi Brown face base. So yeah, I do have some stuff that I had to throw away, so I could I have enough things I could probably do a video on makeup that I've had to throw away recently, and it's not because it's empty. It's because it just expired on me. And I used that Urban Decay, and you see how much was left, and I've had that for a couple of years, because I repurchased that, I think when I had just gotten out of beauty school, and I've been doing hair for, we're going on like 6 years, so I've had that for a while. I've had it at least 4, probably. I bought it during one of the sales. I got that. So, I mean, and I use it a lot, maybe 3. I'm going to say it's a solid 3 years old. I don't think it's 4. It's probably 3. And that's probably my most used primer. And you see, like, I didn't even hit the halfway mark, because you need such a small amount, and I have other primers that I use periodically, so it's unfortunate. I was really sad. Last night was really, really sad, especially when I discovered that I couldn't repurchase it. But I'm going to let this kind of sit, and then I'll pick out a primer and we'll... So for primer, normally I would use the Urban Decay. I have this one, and this is older too, but this one smells fine, from Touch and Soul. This came in a BoxyCharm forever ago. I still have some, and mine still works. And then I still have from Synergens. I am a distributor, but the only reason I signed up was to get the discount. So this is a pore minimizer too, that could work in the same capacity. And then I have this one from Tula. It's a face filter blurring and moisturizing primer. So I have a couple other than the e.l.f. that work in the same capacity as the Urban Decay. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this one. But yeah, I was like about ready to like panic buy, and then I was like, wait, I still have stuff. And there may be a pore minimizing primer in my box. I need to go through, because I know I have a couple of primers. I do a little bit on my forehead just because I have lines up in here, just like smile lines. This seems to be playing pretty well with my Becca backlight filter, because that's how I used to use it before. Was I'd lay a little bit of this down first, just kind of in my problem areas, a little bit on my nose, kind of in my, like my pores are the biggest right in through here, and then on my chin. There's plenty of product in this. I kind of do it around my mouth just because I've been getting some texture I've had some health issues, and I get, like, my skin will get weird when I have problems. So I think that's because I normally don't break out a whole lot. So anytime there's any kind of hormonal, like, crisis, I've noticed it, because it's not like straight up acne, but there's some like bumps and texture just around in here, which that's an indication that something's going on if I wasn't already aware of it. Yeah, this just kind of settles on the side, so I have to just kind of shake it into the middle, but it still smells fine. I feel like it's as old as the Urban Decay one, but having the argan oil and the rosehip oil is going to affect longevity. And then this is a new Becca backlight priming filter. I got about as much out of my other one as I could get out. I was scraping the side. I bought this one before the company went out, and this does help kind of fill stuff in too. I've always used it in conjunction with the other one, so I like the combo, and it seems to be the few times that I've used it with this one, they seem to play well together. Some primers will not mix and they'll start to pill up. So I tested this combo out just because I was like, oh, I should use something else. Hindsight, I must have like subconsciously known the Urban Decay's lifespan was coming to an end. So that combination, I don't have any pilling, so that's good. Because like I said, some things you'll use them together and it's just, they just are different. The chemical composition is different enough that they don't work well together. So we've got the primer on. For base, I was going to say foundation, but it's not really, I'm not really using foundation. My camera's, there we go. I'm going to use the ColourPop one. I have a lot of this, and I don't mind this. This is the hyaluronic acid tinted moisturizer. So I've been using this the last few times that I've filmed, just so that I'm not, my favorite one is my pure tinted moisturizer, but that, you know, has barely, this has more coverage, which is nice for filming. And then I'm not using up my absolute like favorite one either. Like I said, I like this one. The other one that I like is the Wet n Wild, but that I think has even more coverage than this one. I thankfully don't have a lot of like skin discoloration, uneven skin tone, so I don't need much. And then I will go through with a concealer and kind of even things out a little bit more. But yeah, for filming, I've just been using this because I've heard the same thing with this, like this will turn on you all of a sudden. So I figured I have a lot of it left. I might as well try and get some use out of it before it goes, because mine I've had probably going on 2 years now. So I'm like, I should get some use out of it before it goes, because like I said, it'll be just like the Urban Decay where it'll be fine one day and the next day it won't be. But as far as health issues, there's something wrong with my uterus, like that, and this may be TMI for some people, so you don't have to watch, but my mom had a similar issue. My grandma had a similar issue. There will probably, unfortunately, be a hysterectomy in my future. It's just going to be a question of getting them to do it, because they, like, we live in a society where the doctors a lot of times don't want to do stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to have any more kids. Mike and I, my husband and I are done having kids. So it's, to me, like, there's no reason to keep it at this point. Your ovaries are what produce your hormones. So if they just do a partial and take out the uterus, which is what's causing my issues, I'm like, just take it. I'm 38. Just take it out. So I've been having a lot of pain. My kids have been at my in-laws because I have a 3-month-old, 15-month-old, and a soon-to-be 5-year-old, and I can't pick them up. My baby weighs like 15 pounds. And I can hold her, but I can't hold her for very long, which isn't helpful. And if you're new here, my husband's a truck driver. he does over the road. So he's not home. He's not here. He left last week. So when he left, I was starting to have issues when he was here. And then when he left, I was like, I'm going to have to call your mom because I can't be here by myself with the kids. Now, I could go and stay over at my mother-in-law's with the kids. I'm not, because my mother-in-law's mom is there. And I don't care for her. She's got dementia. She's getting to that point where she's not like the nicest. She's been fine with the kids. My father-in-law's home. If it was just my mother-in-law, I would not probably let the kids go over there by themselves. But since my father-in-law's home and he's one of those that doesn't put up with anything from her, they've been over there for a week. So I've just been here. I am able to sit and film because I'm sitting down, but other than going to my doctor's appointment, I really haven't been driving. I can't walk around my house much because the pain's really bad. So it's been a whole thing. So I've been actually able to film because my kids aren't here and I don't really have anything else to do. So I've been trying to film a little bit when I'm able to, and there's been some days where I couldn't film a video if I wanted to. So some days are better than others. Today's a little bit better of a day. So the days that I am able to film something, I've been trying to a little bit just to kind of keep my channel going, but it was an adjustment for sure with the 3 kids, and it's hard to film with Mike being gone. Now he is going to transition to a job where he's not on the road, so that will be nice. We'll be able to have the kids come back when he gets back home. Because even if I'm not well, if I have help, the kids can be here. It's just one of those things where, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week when I'm not well, it's kind of hard to have all 3 of them here, especially because the baby doesn't sleep throughout the night. So that's where I've been at with that. So trying to figure out, I had one appointment. I hadn't seen the doctor before, like it was a new person. So she did not want to do a whole lot. So I made another appointment with a doctor that I've seen. I have an appointment. I'm filming this on Sunday. I have an appointment with him on Wednesday. So hopefully, and I'm just going to go in with some number 7 powder to set where I put the concealer. So hopefully we'll get some sort of something figured out. Like I said, I think it's going to drag out. I think it's going to be one of those things where every time I'm on my period, when it flares up really bad, because it's been really bad when I'm on my period, like heavy bleeding to the point where you would think that I had just given birth. Like it was so bad. Last month, because when you have a baby, if you didn't know, if you've never had kids, you have to, it's generally easier just to wear Depends because you're bleeding so much. Well, that's what I did last month when I was on my period, because the bleeding was so bad and so heavy, and it was at the level that it was when I gave birth, that I just wore Depends last month when I was on my period. So, and I'm like, and it's gotten progressively worse, like with each period that I've had since I've had the baby. So that's one of those things where I'm like, it can't go on at this rate forever. Like my mom had this, I think it's a little bit hereditary because my mom and my grandma both had this happen around my age. My grandma was 36. My mom was 42. I don't know what I did on my nose. My nose has been a little bit weird with, I have issues sometimes with makeup adhering to my nose and like it stops. I'm going to have to go back to using like a gripping primer on my nose. I had to do that for a while, and then I stopped because it was fine, and now all of a sudden you can see it's already like lifting. It like doesn't want to have anything adhere. Some of it could be because, like I said, my skin has gotten a little bit weird in spots. I'm just pressing in with one of those puffs where I put the powder. But yeah, my nose has been problematic again as far as getting makeup to stick. So I do have gripping primer, so I may have to go back. I was going to use loose powder on the rest of my face. I will probably just finish up with the pressed powder. Doesn't help that my nose is running, but yeah, my skin's been a little bit weird, which I had an issue a couple years ago where I had cysts develop on my ovaries and one of them ruptured and I almost hemorrhaged. I had to have emergency surgery when we were traveling back from visiting my grandma. So I had breakouts right before that happened. So with my skin being weird, like I know like there's something going on because I had the same thing happen. I got really bad acne right before the cyst ruptured, like really bad. Like, and Mike even said something. He's like, your face is never broken. And I had like bad spots all over. That's probably the worst breakouts I've ever had in my life, even in high school. And like I said, Mike even said something. He's like, what's going on? Like, your face never breaks out. I had to wear makeup every day because it was so bad. And then the cyst ruptured. So it was because the cyst was there. So I kind of learned if there's like weird things going on with my skin, generally there's something else going on too. But I'm going to figure out I'm going to figure out blush, contour, and all that, and I'll get it pulled out. And for contour, I'm going to use my little Natasha Denona Duo. I got this as a replacement. Not really a replacement. My Chocolate Soleil is in like a weird like limited edition like holiday packaging. It was like part of a set. So like for traveling and stuff, it's not ideal. So I've been trying to find a little like small compact thing, and this does have a highlighter in it, and I am able to use the highlighter. I got this on sale. It's not a bad powder. I don't think I like it as well as the Chocolate Soleil, but it works as far as powder goes. Like, it's fine. This is a little bit warmer than my Chocolate Soleil. And the other powder that I do have that I can use is I have the Hot Cocoa one, and this is pretty much a matte bronzer. I can use this one too, kind of in that vein, and this one travels a little bit better. We'll try a little bit of this on the forehead. It's been a while since I've used this one. I like to go in with a matte contour and then blend it out with a shimmery bronzer, if I could speak. That was like a pro makeup tip that I got a long time ago when I was taking makeup classes. And I feel like it gives a little bit more of a natural sun-kissed look. So I generally will contour like this is very, very light is the only bad thing. And I'm very fair. Here's my Chocolate Soleil. Like, this is the top of the sugar cookie set from a few years ago. Like, mine still works. It's just kind of weird packaging. So that's why I picked up the Natasha Denona one. And I'm just going over where I put that Hot Cocoa one, because that one you can build it up, but it's so light. I don't know who they thought they were marketing that for, because I'm very, very fair. And I struggle. You saw I struggled to get pigment off of that. And then for shimmery bronzer, I'll just do the Makeup Revolution. I generally use one of my Becca ones. It's my favorite. But this one is very similar to the Milani. I have the Milani one too. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with either one of these. So they're more affordable. I do have a Makeup Revolution contour, like little set that I like. That works just as good. It's just in the further back in my drawer, so I forget that it's in there. But I do have like some drugstore contours that work good too. I just end up using the Too Faced one over and over. I do highlight next just because I feel like it mixes in with the blush. We're just going to use, we could keep it drugstore. I'll use this Koki one. I've only used this one a couple of times. This is in Heavenly. I don't know if they still sell this. I've had this for a while. It's kind of a gold, champagne-y gold color. It's pretty. I don't know. I haven't bought a whole lot from Koki, so I could, and I think I got this in something. I don't think I bought this on its own. I think it came in a box of some sort, or somebody gave it to me, because this is one of those brands they used to sell it at Walmart. I don't even know if they still do. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with this highlighter, so we'll use that today. And then for blush, one of my favorites is from Ciate, and I've looked and looked and looked to try and get the full size of this, which I probably don't need because I've had this mini forever, and I've never like hit pan on it. This is in Date Night. This is one of those luminous marbled blushes. I have a few full-size ones. I don't have this shade. This is my favorite shade because this one is not too pink and it's not too orange. It's a neutral color that kind of works with a lot of eye looks. I have a mini that's a little more pink, and I think my full-size ones are a little more like mauve-y pink. But this is not straight up terracotta. I do have some terracotta blushes, but this one is just a nice neutral color. So this tends to be the one that I've reached for the most out of all of them, and I have tried to find this in a full size just because I like it so much. And this one is like, this line is always sold out, so I don't know if this is something they like brought out and then got rid of, because I cannot. I've never been able to find this in a full size, and I don't know if it's the same line as this, the marbled light ones, or if this is a different, because this is what this looks like on the inside. And I have two of these in full size. And then I have two of these minis that I got when I was still getting Ipsy. I had a third one and I gave it away because the third one and Matchmaker were very close. They were both pinky, but you can see this is what they look like on the inside. These are always sold out. Like I said, I've tried to get this in a full size, but you can see how much, like there's no more dome like there is kind of on this one, but I haven't hit pan either, so I don't really need it. But if you can find Date Night, it's a really nice, just neutral shade. It's got a little bit of glow. It's not overly intense. I put a little bit on my temples, my nose, a little bit on my chin. Yeah, it's just a really nice highlighter. It's a really nice blush. But yeah, I'm gonna just spray my face. I'll do my brows off camera, and then we'll just close. I just did my brows off camera. I've been using, I have 3 different shades of ColourPop brow pencils. I've just been using those. I used my lightest one today, which is in Blonde Moment, so it's kind of a taupey shade. The one that I use the most often, I have to look, is this one, Bangin' Brunette. It's a little bit lighter. This is my darkest one, Cool Cocoa, which if I ever get my hair colored, my hair is going to be like super dark brown, and I'll have to go back to probably using this one for a while. But I like these, but the amount of brow pencils that I have in various shades is staggering. If you watched, like 2 years ago, I did a video where I was doing Halloween makeup, and I did a werewolf look that was super cute, and I did all the little hairs with just different brow pencils because I have like 10 of them in different colors. But yeah, it works because as your hair, like when you color it, it lightens and changes, and so I always have the right shade. Do I always use the right shade? No. But do I have the right shade? Probably, because I have various shades of taupes and browns in my basket. But anyways, yeah, this is the makeup. I just needed to get some base makeup on to film a couple of videos. I figured you could sit with me. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Again, make sure you're subscribed if you're not, if you want to come back. I always appreciate it. I've gotten a few new subscribers lately, so I'm always appreciative. Thank you guys so much for your sweet comments. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in another video very, very soon. Bye, everybody.